You may wonder what I'm doing. Reading a book. That is what I'm doing. But, just like this book's core philosophy, let me explain how I got here. Today, I am reviewing Volume 1, Life of Voltaire. Contents of the first volume. 1. The Boyhood. 2. Epigrams and the Bastille. 3. Epidipe and the Journey to Holland. Now, these 3 pages, these 3 chapters, these 3 volumes that have been done injustice by today's society, they can all be connected back to one thought, one school of thought you may call it, but essentially one thought. This school of thought is called conservational neutralism, which is a synonym for thought. Yes, now you may think this is strange, perhaps even unorthodox, from someone like me to claim something of this preposterous nature. But, alas, even I sometimes have controversial opinions. And that is why today I'm going to talk about controversial aization neutralism in this book. This book claims to talk about the life of Voltaire. But Voltaire, he's a myth. No longer man, but in the realms of science, philosophy, other studies. Voltaire is simply one of a kind in history. And so, that's why today I am not going to explain why this half-bit book posing as a biography of Voltaire is, in all essence, flawed. But what I will explain is what its core truly does mean. Let us begin with a little short list of biographies. Now, what is a biography if not a description of someone's life? A tale of them going place to place, achievement to achievement, concrete block to stepping stone to concrete block, a foundation laid for society. That's all a biography is. Now, when you read a biography, what do you intend to learn from one? If you were thinking that when you read a biography, you intend to learn something along the lines of the era of the past, and how the greats of the past can be pulled into the future, drawn from a place of submorality, and pulled into one of utopia, you would be absolutely incorrect. The true way, at least in the term of like-minded philosophers as myself, is to first talk about thought. Now, I've been building up to thought a lot. But what is thought? Thought is defined in the English dictionary as anything of nature that can be thought. Now, at first, this definition seems a bit circular. If a thought is anything that can be thought, then what is a thought? It's anything that can be thought. And you, my friend, would be absolutely correct. Until you consider one paradox. Math is the foundation of all things in our society. If we did not have our simple digits 1 and 0, we would not have computers. We did not have Aristophanes to invent the pyramids. We would not have movies. And if we did not have any form of blanket structure, we would not have blankets. So, let me explain to you what this has to do with science. Thought is its own science. Science of thought is very simple. There is no thought. there is no science. And the other way around. And the other way around. And etc., etc. So, let me explain how that ties back to this book. The idea of a lack of thought is first presented in chapter XII, or for you non-initiated, chapter 8. Flying visits to Frederick. Since the first letter in August of 1736, and the correspondence and friendship between Voltaire and Prince Frederick of Prussia had grown more and more enthusiastic. The devoted pair had, from the first, intersped abstract considerations on the soul and the right of divine kings to govern wrong with the most flattering personalities and hero worship. Now, all obsequies put aside and glowing lantern reviews of our political history, let me explain what this says. This states, human thought is nothing more than an illusion. And that's why it then says politics. Politics in this case being politics from a philosopher to a dictator are also an illusion. Now, you may be confused. What does this mean? A lesser man may say, oh, this interpretation suggests that perhaps we should not bring philosophy to politics, or politics to science. And a lesser man would be correct to a certain aspect. You see, this lesser man may not be a philosopher in his interpretation, but a scientist. Politicians usually don't give their own interpretations on things, so we don't see what they think very often. But there is one minority group that has been left out of this equation. The minority group being the philosophers, the ones actually in question. Now, in other discussions, philosophers have been very outcast. Very, very outcast. And no one could ever imagine what they could have done. And, oh, sorry. I'm getting a bit sucked into things. I must gather my thoughts. Wait. I can see the truth. It's in front of my eyes this whole time. These glasses, they were a prescription. They were blinding me from the topic at hand. What a wonderful miracle life is. One moment, you think you know it all. The next, life hands it all to you. Oh, what a beautiful mistress, a goddess of philanthropy. Yippee! I understand everything. Everything there is to know. Who's that knocking at my door? Who is that knocking, Sue? Could they be standing here, to fro? Why would they be knocking tense? Why would they be knocking less? Is knocking not a sense of knocking on wood, knocking on luck, knocking on dreams, hopes, desires, all falling into a fit of acid? Acid is most conflagrous to the taste and to the sound. No, this must not be true. The world does not reciprocate my feelings. My feelings will reciprocate the world. I have ascended, and therefore I will be represented. As philosophers have been done too wrong for too long. I am so angered by this. I will sing a song of praise. And my song of praise will last for days, weeks, months, years. My song of praise will make them realize as they itch, they try to snitch on me. But you cannot snitch on the one who has praised you. You cannot snitch on the one helping. You put the villain in jail, not the hero. And I'm the hero. alters everything. I once had a cousin named Charlie. His family, they came from, not per se royalty, but he was a cousin of the Emperor. Now, Charlie had a big view, boisterously succeeding, excelling to the top, until one day, Charlie decided to get too big for his little britches. Now Charlie was a cousin of royalty, so no one except the king could lay a finger on him. I did not like this. I didn't like this one bit. That lying, grasping scoundrel tried to send me out of my kingdom on no grounds. He claimed I was insane. Can you believe that? He claimed that I had some preposterous scheme to rule the world. Henceforth, luckily, no one saw Charlie again. But this memory is coming back to me. And you know why? Because it turns out Charlie, little, sweet, trustworthy Charlie, had every grounds to be right. Everything. Science backed him up. I should not have been as psychologically stable as I was. But yet, or better yet, I was. Oh, sweet burning bridges! Someone tell me. What happened? What's here? What the? Who came to what? To that? To what ends meet the grounds? To what ends meet the meats? And when will one disappear in the meats? Disappear on their feet and disappear on their meats. Oh, one will live as one will live sheep. When will I die? Am I ready? Am I set or go? I don't think I'm going to post this. No, I don't think I do. But I will repost.